Hi there, welcome to the CISSP Twister of the day number 144. Today I have brought up a little different perspective for you. We are going to talk on the concept, right? And this particular concept I have picked up from CISSP objective number 2.1. So let's see what is it there for us today. Classification and categorizations are two interchangeable terms used to describe the process of organizing assets based on their value and importance. You have to tell me either it is true, false, or you don't know this concept, and then I am going to explain you. So you can take like 15 seconds to answer this, and I am going to talk about this after 5 seconds. Okay, time up. So let me start explaining this. Okay, so information is the most important thing in the entire cybersecurity world because that is something which is of the utmost importance, and we cannot have a flat structure for applying the cybersecurity controls. We need to make sure that those assets which are more valuable, we are able to implement more security controls over there, right? But how do you do that? First, it is fundamental that all the assets whichever you have, you should be able to understand you can say their value to the organization. Now this particular value can come from the cost of acquisition, the criticality for the business, the sensitivity if that particular information is not available, impact, legal impact, all of that as well, and also the cost of replacement as well. So those are some criteria which you are going to use when you are going to derive the value of a particular asset, because you have to derive the asset value first, and once you derive the value of the asset, how much valuable it is for me, if the asset is more valuable, you are going to implement, you are going to classify that. So how do we classify? Normally you have a classification policy which talks about this. So when we talk about classification, right, there is a central policy which has to be signed by the highest authority, and it has to be followed across the company. The particular policy has to be very clear in terms of defining the criteria along with certain examples as well, and it should also talk about asset handling instructions as well, for what kind of asset you need to implement what particular baseline. So that's the entire thing. So that is what is classification. But on the other hand, you also see there is another word being used, which is categorization. What is categorization? Do we have a policy for this? No. So categorization is, once you have already classified something, on top of it you need to categorize that based, or you can say you need to group the information based on the type of asset, the type of department, the type of compliance required. For example, you have implemented that all PII is going to be confidential for you, but this PII might be related to finance. That means it may be PCI DSS specific information, cardholder data specific information. It can also be the personal identity of the people as well, like personal identifiable information, or it can also be personal health information as well. So how do we, because all this information is confidential, how do we further segregate that, right? That is through categorization. Why at all categorization need to be done? Because basis that, for example, all the assets which are under the scope of PCI DSS, there is a different set of requirement which you need to implement. If certain systems are coming under HIPAA, there is a certain different type of requirement which you need to enforce, certain different controls you need to enforce on that. So end of the day, we need to use both classification and categorization, both of them, but at the same time they are not interchangeable terms, they are different. You as a CISSP guy need to understand this difference very, very clearly, and we need to implement both of them to make sure that you are able to organize assets much better based on their value. So I hope this particular concept would help you in your CISSP exam. With that said, feel free to subscribe to this particular channel. Don't forget to subscribe to this, and I am going to come up with more and more questions like that. Normally we release a twister of the day every day. Okay, so feel free to share this channel with others as well. And if CISSP is your target, you want to complete it within 100 days, consider enrolling into this entire program. It's very, very unique. You are given access to the particular portal for 100 days. I am going to take live classes, entire 4 hours. We are going to practice like 70 to 80 questions in that particular class, and lot of concepts like this. So entire CISSP is being explained in terms of very simplified concept, just like you see on your screen. So with that said, Jai Hind, and I will see you in the next video.